Actually, can you bring up the stream on your phone so you can see it? Hey, everybody. I know it's been a while.
I'm gonna tell my dad we're live too. I want to check it out.
We got an unboxing. 262. We just opened it. We should probably be doing this live. So I think Luke sent this to me. I'm literally pulling it out now. Oh man. And we have no idea what to expect here.
What were you saying?
We have no idea what we're expecting on this.
And you just picked this up and it is what it is? Or
Picked it up, and it is what it is. He told me, he said, well, it said XP on it, therefore I just picked it up. And I, okay.
No serial tag.
No tag.
Must have fallen off though.
Sure.
Hey, it's got the smooth spike on it. You know that racing one?
Yeah.
The softwood, whatever you call it.
Okay. You know what I'm seeing? What I'm seeing is you have the early cover. You have the early the box here, whatever this is. I don't know.
Have you ever opened up one of those boxes to see what's in there? Is it an open compartment?
It's an open compartment.
Yeah.
They have a ton of theories on what that was supposed to be, but nobody really knows.
Yes, there's people watching.
Somebody seemed to think it could be, the original auto tune. Hey, Chad. Hey, Harry. Ingmar's filmer. Haven't seen you around. Welcome. Audio okay? Everything okay? So, I am wondering.
Spike here too.
Yeah. Yeah, but that's the outer dog, and like the 55 still has the same problem. The outer dog is too long.
Really? So it's like.
So what you actually have to do is you have to cut it and re-weld it 1/8 of an inch shorter, and then you run into a couple of other fitment issues too. You have to grind on it and whatnot.
It's made for the saw, but it's not made.
It's made for the saw, but it's not made for the saw. Right? Yeah, that's kind of where it's at. I don't even know if I've got like all my stuff down here with me. Batteries. Do I have any? Yeah, okay. I have a battery over there. Yeah, I don't even know if
that muffler looks like it's in decent shape. It's not bad. It might be one of the easy ones with the hole in the front, Because I think once you take that front plate off, it's like...
Oh. Yeah, there's a hole in the front, probably. It becomes a hole. So, okay, let's do this. I'm wondering, is this the early model with the 87 carburetor?
Let's find out.
Well, that's the real question. It's a non-decomp cylinder.
So that's a good sign?
That's a good sign. In that sense, anyway, if you want an 87 carb.
Yeah, it's kind of exciting to see what kind of carb is on it.
That's old looking.
The carb might be worth so much money you could sell it.
Right.
This is a new carburetor.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, that was tight.
That was tight. So I'm not even bothering to get compression on this or anything. I'm simply taking this and tearing this all the way down because of age. I don't care if it runs good or whatever. It doesn't matter. We're going to tear this all the way down. New bearings, new seals, because it does have at least some wear and tear on it, and because of age by itself, right? These are the 6202 bearings, so they're relatively inexpensive. So it's a bearings and a gasket kit. I mean, it's such cheap insurance to do that comparatively to try to just go out and run this thing. HDA 120. Boo.
Oh man, what cylinder is on it? I can't see. You'll see when you take it off.
It says AB on the top.
Well, I mean, it looks pretty clean under the cover. It's not like...
Yeah.
It looks like somebody took care of it at some point.
This piece is new.
Oh, it is. Huh. Somebody's been in there before.
Maybe somebody's been in there because usually these plastic pieces are all, because they get hot, they kind of disappear. They just get brittle and start breaking. So okay, well,
It's missing the air injection thing.
this didn't have air injection.
It didn't? I thought it did. That piece that fits there, that
It is missing that.
because that
The
kind
jet.
of weight goes right there, doesn't it?
Yeah, you're right.
No.
Missing the jet. Good eye, Mason.
I do know that.
Every
Part of
once in a
Husky
while.
history.
Every once in a while. Yeah. Okay.
I think that 262 is the first solid air injection.
Either
Husky
that or
had.
394.
Or 394.
Because
I think.
they're the same generation. 288 didn't have it. Right. What I need is some
You want a
paper.
box to put stuff in?
I need paper so I can write down something. Let me go upstairs and grab a piece of paper so I can. Because what you want to do is you want to start, figuring out what's missing.
That work.
Yeah, I'll just go upstairs and grab a piece of paper. Hey.
He'll be right back.
The problem with that air jet is almost guaranteed that thing is no longer made.
Really?
Top cover is okay. Both of these springs are intact. These metal springs here or there. Top bolts are fine. So it's not missing too much. Which is good. But you definitely, as you're going, you want to keep track of the things either you're gonna need or whatever. It's an air jet. And even though you might find the rubber piece around it, like these rubber grommets, no longer made. You cannot get them. So, now, before I start mucking around a little more, yeah, there's still a little gas in it.
Still.
Still a little gas in it.
I can smell.
Ladies and gentlemen, don't ship saws. Put gas in them. Just saying.
That's a pretty beefy spring.
Yeah, the mainspring's pretty chunky.
This kid asked, does Mason pay rent there?
Yeah, he tests saws. That's his rent.
Yep. That's the currency.
That's the currency. Time.
Is there oil in it too?
Probably.
Where's wheelchair?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
There's a good amount of here.
Lots of oil. Oh yeah.
Would have been nice to split that.
Where's my oil? So disorganized because I haven't been down here doing much. Over there by the 242. 246, whatever it is. I have 246 sitting around, just so you guys know. That's coming. I'm not worried about that today. Wait a minute. Yeah, Foodle.
Not feeling accurate today.
No, everybody knows I've been at work and feeling a little low.
Oh wow, there was a lot of oil in here.
Yeah, don't ship us all like that, guys. Luke, don't do that.
Because if it sits in a warehouse long enough, then we don't.
Well, yeah, if it leaks, then you get into trouble. They really don't like you to ship things with liquids because then there's fumes in a truck, and you have it's bad.
All right. It's got a chain catcher on it.
So we'll look at that too. Also, a part that's no longer made.
They don't make the chain catcher anymore?
No.
That basically puts out.
Well,
use if you're actually gonna use it.
If you're actually going to use it, yeah.
Unless you want to throw a chain in your leg.
Or ruin lots of sets of chaps, yeah. Alright, now we can start taking this thing apart. I need the battery out of the yellow DeWalt right there. Good. Yep. So, I'm just going to start dismantling this and see where we go. Clutch cover going to come off. These clutch covers are at least a little bit weird because of these two tabs in the back. They grab in, so you have to set them in like that, kind of. Needs a new brake band.
Looks like she got hot at some point.
Something got hot. The brake band's buggered here.
Whoa, yeah, that hot.
So I think we'll be taking that apart eventually.
No carb limiters. That's what I haven't seen a solid that in a while.
All right, old school. Yeah, best of luck getting the clutch off. Think that got hot? That got hot.
Wow, it's like, look at that. It's blue there. Mm.
Somebody actually figured out how to put, this is a 272 chain catcher.
Oh, well.
So that's not a 262 chain catcher. That's a 272 chain catcher.
Well.
Let's get a...
That choke is neat. It's simple too.
Yeah, everything on these is just incredibly simple. Every single chance they got, they made it simple. Which is what it should be, in my opinion. This goes on the top of the two. Short ones on the bottom. It's supposed to fall. Okay. There. Really want to get that clutch off like as soon as possible. That's what I want to do. So now I have to find my clutch tool. So on these saws, you really need, there's a 3-pronged clutch tool. And this I made fits in there like that. I think we're going to need a new spark plug.
Wow, that's old. That's old.
It might have gotten hot. Not too bad though.
Mm. The clutch region of the saw seemed to get pretty toasty at one point. Maybe they set the brake and didn't realize it when they, like if you leave it on when it's like hot, like hot idle or whatever, high idle.
High idle. Who else is here? How many people do we have on? Hey, Georgie. And from Gigi from Morania. Fantastic. Welcome.
I think there's a lot of chainsaw cutters in that region as well. She's on there.
Wow. That ain't happening. See,
I have to put a breaker on there.
Yeah, what size is this actually? Is it 19? Because theoretically, you should be able to stick 19 millimeter on there, but ideally, I need to get a 19 millimeter and just kind of shave it down so it actually seats a little further and grabs that piece.
Mm.
I don't know if I've got that one. These are all like, you go to like pawn shop and get one or something.
My 1/4 inch wouldn't get the clutch off that 394, so I took out my
Oh yeah,
my 1/2 inch one and
here's. We got lucky.
that came right off that time.
Yeah, but that wants to fall right apart too.
Silly spring.
Yeah, maybe. Boy, we got lucky there. Okay, cool. Don't need that. 19 millimeter. That worked. Okay, so now there's, get the order right. There's a washer here. This goes behind the clutch. Then the drum pin.
It's like a mini 288.
Yeah, kind of. This is a 387 and kind of worn rim. And what I like to do with these is put this all together with a zip tie. I'll screw up the order now before I do that. This piece here is also supposed to come out.
So the oiler in this spins all the time. It doesn't look like
yes.
Doesn't look like it grabs that thing.
Correct. So there's there's a bronze worm inside of here.
I think I actually like that idea though. It won't wear out like plastic.
Correct.
Just don't let it sit idling for
correct
10 minutes, you know.
Now, if I remember right, there was some spots here where you actually take like 5 millimeter bolts and put them down, and that actually lifts the oiler out.
Really?
Yeah.
That's interesting.
If anybody wants to really know how to do this, they can go back to my bolt for bolt video on this. Which
you want the vacuum?
Actually, yeah, bring it downstairs. It's upstairs somewhere.
All right.
Yeah, I'll try to answer questions best I can. Right now, I don't have. Actually, I'll bring my other phone up here. That way I can see you guys, and Mason can monitor too. If anybody has any questions or anything like that. These are M4, and this is 3 millimeter head. So pop. So I like to just break these open instead of the ball end. I like to use the non-ball end. Did you find it? Okay, that's all right.
She'll be getting put in ultrasonic, I'm guessing.
Oh, everything's, yeah. This has to be fully gone through. And because this head is not non-decomp, I wouldn't bump up the compression at all on this. Would you bump up the compression? No. I'd probably just leave this.
Maybe a gasket delete code could.
Even a gasket delete, you could end up with 180 pounds on here.
We know what happens to recoils with 200 plus on these.
Yep.
That's probably your weakest link, right? The recoil.
Could be, yeah.
Plus they kick too.
I think these two spots right here are where you put M5 bolts in, and the whole thing just lifts off. I think.
That's the idea.
That's the idea.
That's some pretty tight tolerances when that wheeler fits in.
Where's it up here in the corner? No, I don't think it's there. I'm pretty sure it's right
here. Does it take the oiler bolts?
No, it's not. It's not the oiler bolts.
There you go.
Nope. Yeah. And sometimes you can just get the oiler off too. You can just lift, and sometimes it pops right off. But like that. So that's up. And for whatever reason, I don't know why, this washer here tends to get in the way.
You want like a second?
I thought it was M5. Maybe it is M4. You could be right. Could be M4. So then but I need to get longer M4 bolts. I thought it was M5. Let's see if this is right. No. They could be so stuffed up that with junk.
Right, 20 years of
20 years of
whatever
junk.
You come with that.
Yeah, that's actually going. Look at that. Every once in a while, I'm right.
Wow. It would have taken a while with the screwdrivers.
Yep. It's supposed to lift right off, just like that.
That's really neat.
Right. It's all coming back. So this little tiny piece of rubber here,
no longer available.
Probably NLA. You can use a piece of fuel line, but ideal to save it if you can. Okay. Let's get oil hose out. Just like that. Now, that. That. All right. So there is a system to do this, and thank God I think I still have it. Here we go.
I like that concept from a durability standpoint, but kind of makes tearing it down a pain in the ass.
Kind of makes it tearing it down a pain in the ass. So. So I actually.
I don't know. I don't feel any play though. I don't know if that's the recoil or.
Hopefully it's just the recoil.
Yeah, it's probably the recoil. Those pulls.
Okay, good. Yeah. There's actually a few ways to do this. These are just 3/4 to 1 adapter and then a 1 1/2 adapter NPT fittings. Well, as it turns out, that screws right on there. That's no problem. And then you actually have to use a puller to pull it off. There's another way to do it. So you can use a regular, I have the puller here somewhere, like an arm puller. I forget what it's called. It's a ball joint puller. The other way to do it is like this. So this actually comes from HL Supply. They sent this to me because they actually used this in a video. They put a ball bearing there. Okay. And again, same idea, 1/2 inch to 3/4 to 1 adapter. And then this is the trick. This is the tricky part is you need, let me show you guys. You need to find the piece that this bolt goes into. So this is 1 inch on the outside, and this is like 1/2 inch fine or something like that, or 5/8 fine. So this is the tricky part to find. But we can make this relatively painless.
Relatively painless.
You're pulling on that piece of bronze, and just that's what's going to happen here. Theoretically, I think this is bigger than 3/4.
Quite a contraption just to get that
right,
off.
Just to get that off.
And yeah, that has to come off not only for rebuild but for seals too.
Right. Yep. Got to come off for seals. So. $24mm. I may need something to hold on to this, but who knows? There it is.
That thing was on there, man. Oh, it's a tight fit. And how do you put it back on? You just heat
it up and drop it. There it is. The other way to do it is to do the conversion to the newer style of worm, which we can do as well. I suppose the old style. So we'll put this back in here. The ball bearing too. Not that I don't have tons of those sitting around, but whatever. The tricky part, again, this is 1/2 inch NPT to 3/4 to 1. The problem is finding a bolt to go into something that is at the end piece there. That's the real tricky part. If you could probably buy a 1 inch plug, drill the hole, tap it for any size, a nice heavy bolt, and you'd be good. how you could do it.
So the easiest way is just convert it to a new style oiler.
Right. The easier way, if you want to be able to maintain it, the newer style oiler is a plastic worm that is integrated. It's closer to a 288 or 394.
Makes it easier for maintenance.
Yeah.
That's interesting how they put the boss there.
Yep.
But they don't. You could add a decomp there, right? If you like drill that out, and it would be
it'd be some work, but yeah, you could do it. All right. So what are the odds that it's missing the E-clip here? Pretty darn good. There's a piece of rubber in there still, but it's all buggered, so it's all eroded, which is why you use an E-clip there, not a piece of rubber. I don't know what the heck they were thinking.
Yeah, the E-clip is a way better idea. It's permanent.
So while we're on this side of the saw, you might as well do this side sort of stuff. So pull this thing out. You may actually have to modify the case to get the E-clip on, but so what? Why does it not just fall out?
Good riddance.
Good riddance. That's right. We'll get it all cleaned up in the ultrasonic. Right, and oh, by the way, these two bolts are actually case bolts. I tore apart a 262 crankcase because I didn't remove these when I tried to split it one day. So I ruined the crankcase by doing that. Whoops.
You learned.
Yeah, you learn real fast. So far, this isn't missing a whole lot, though.
How many case screws are there? 6? 5?
1, 2. There's one down in there. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Wow. That little bugger at the back.
Yeah, the bugger at the back. Yeah, I think there's one down in here. You just start taking stuff off. That's all you do. All this stuff is going to get cleaned. And do you see a reason to powder coat the case? I don't.
No, I didn't even throw the chain that many times.
No, not much rash on there.
I bet it'll look nice once you clean it up. It's a pearl hiding under all that.
Yeah.
It's interesting how the cart bolts they just use flathead spurs.
Right. And those are absolutely proprietary bolts, by the way.
Proprietary, really?
All right, we got lucky with that one for case bolts. 35 millimeter case bolt.
Are they proprietary too?
Nah, I think you can use regular 35 millimeter bolts for those. On the 372s, they're fairly specific because they have a point to them. They actually have a guide point. I don't know. Is there a nut? Somebody had a nut on the other side of this. Yep. So somebody cobbled something here.
Well,
good for them. Put a nut, screw. They came up with a chain catcher, so that was smart.
That's great. It works.
Yeah, it works. Good. Okay. Let's do.
Where would the normal chain catcher just be?
It would be actually on here. There's two dimples, two bumps. The chain catcher sits there, but obviously not today. For the AV mount here, and the rear case screw. Take that out too. I think that's like 20 millimeter. All right, so we got 3 other case bolts, or 4 other case bolts here to remove. We can remove a little bit. We'll have to do that right this second. What problems has the saw? This is 262. The problems with the saw, it's old. That's the problem. So if you're using a saw like this, anticipate doing a rebuild, because these seals are old. These are actually plastic. You think that's going to last? Nope. Wrong. So you get a saw like this in your hands. If you do not know the history, just go through it. Don't even bother trying to let's put a fuel line on it. No. Tear it down.
It's cheap anyway. I mean, for the bearings, right? Stuff like
that. It's such cheap insurance to tear this down. Now, this screw is interesting. What's that? That's not correct.
Was it a self-tapper?
No, thank God. This is not a OEM ignition.
Oh, wow.
It's an aftermarket ignition. So somebody's been in here doing this and that and the other.
Wow.
This is OEM, but I'm willing to bet that is aftermarket for ignition. Now, it might work fine. So some aftermarket ignitions do work fine. Some don't.
It's a crapshoot.
It's kind of a crapshoot with aftermarket ignitions, yeah. Now, on my dad's 257, I did use an aftermarket ignition, and it did work fine. I don't generally like aftermarket ignition for 372s. That's like a no-no. It does not say EM anywhere on this, so that is aftermarket. What I'm going to do. So we need a screw here, a starter.
I guess we'll find out if the ignition works when we get it all together and go to fire it up.
Go to fire it up, right? Either it's going to work, or it's not. So we need a starter cover screw.
It's a shame though, they lost that air jet out of everything we've been using there. Maybe it was broken already. I mean, the plastic gets brittle, like you said, rubber and plastic after 30 years.
Yeah.
They intake wall thing what's new too.
Yeah, overall, I mean, the crankcase looks really nice. I'm a little worried about this bolt hole right there.
Yeah.
But overall, I think it looks really nice. Okay, pull the flywheel next.
People must be working today on Saturday.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of other streams going too today. When I started doing the streaming, there wasn't a whole lot of guys streaming. I had, just hanging out. I had 20, 30 people show up just to chat some nights. A number of years ago.
Now it took off, I guess, the craze.
Right, the streaming craze kind of took off, and folks have moved on. And that's okay. So one thing I like to do with the ignition is actually put a mark on the crank itself, parallel to where the key should be. I definitely like to do that. And that way you can see if the flywheel moves significantly because the key is buggered, then you can see your timing's way off or something like that. You just have a better idea.
Is that flywheel proprietary to that saw, or is it?
I assume this is good for the 257 as well, but I don't know. Like, would this be good for a 55? Maybe, because it's basically the same chassis. The 55 has different AV.
Oh, so this is just a bit more.
It's kind of like a big bore 55. The crank might be different. I don't know. I'm pretty sure like 257.
It's kind of neat how they share parts though.
Yeah. 257, 261, and 262 all the same crank. Pretty sure that to be true. Don't know about the 55. Maybe not.
254 seem kind of rare.
254 is rare. I wonder if the 254 actually has a different crank as well, because that might be slightly shorter stroke. The difference is 254 is the same chassis, but it is a slightly different gas tank, I think. So overall, the feel of the saw is smaller. It feels smaller. I think that's how that goes on those.
They're kind of a curiosity, though, because you never seen them as much. It's like,
right.
I mean, this is already a pretty rare saw, but 254, I don't think I've ever seen one in person yet. I can't remember if I saw one at a get together. Wow.
That's that. Yikes. Yuck. Ooh.
That hasn't been taken off in a while.
Nope.
Wow. Holy crap. That thing's coated. It's smooth.
Gummed up. Smooth. It's soft.
That adds a lot of weight too. Maybe adds vibration too.
Could add vibration and weight, yeah.
That's a significant amount there.
I should pull a chunk out of it like that. And then put it back on the saw.
It's not balanced.
Why is this vibrating so much?
That's why you should clean your saw.
Yeah.
Especially after you cut pine trees. I bet that's all pine.
It's probably a good idea to do a rebuild every now and again. This isn't a bad idea just for cleanliness purposes, right? So, okay. Let's see, I could probably remove this and put this. The flywheel puller, by the way, these pullers are available on eBay. I think it's under McCullough. It's a McCullough flywheel puller. It's somebody that makes these aftermarket. But it works great. I really
Puller
like it.
plate, huh?
Yeah. Works really well.
It's better than using a screwdriver and a hammer.
A hammer, yeah. I'd like the plate to be thicker, because that's only like a 1/4 inch thick. Be nice to have it a little thicker, that way it's less likely to bend.
Yeah, man, it's really nice before you really.
Yeah.
Really,
All right, those two. Let's pull those out.
It's amazing how strong threads are, though. Because when you're pulling that flywheel, that puts a lot of pressure on those little screws. It's amazing that they can actually hold that kind of pressure.
Tummy. Okay. Whatever happened to my good screwdriver? I have to hit the restroom. I'll be right back. You want to take the carb off?
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Oh, my tummy. Kill it.
Oh, that's not good.
What'd you butter? They're always kind of loose. Yeah.
As long as it doesn't leak fuel, I mean.
Yeah, it won't be a problem. Hopefully. Okay. Yeah. So there's a trick on the barbed fittings. My uncle showed me. You actually get a razor and shave down this way. You don't slice it this direction. If you shave it down this way, and then it's more likely to pop that off without any trouble. Was there a rubber piece in here?
Yeah, I took that.
There was
no
rubber piece there.
No.
So he's missing that rubber piece.
I bet with the kit down, this will be fine. I mean, it doesn't look that dirty. Hopefully.
Carb kit for a 120, and then I need rubber grommet, fuel line, crankcase.
Well, it had the OEM fuel line.
Yep, they got OEM line in there. That's good.
It doesn't feel that bad, but
Yeah. Ooh. Is that a crack?
wow. Damn.
Intake.
Hey, it's right near the impulse too. Figures right.
Intake lock. Well, let's, before I pull that.
You're gonna bend this.
Yeah, but I anything that's junk, any OEM parts that come with the saw, it's not mine to bin. So I'm just gonna put that over there.
That's what's new.
Okay, so those are the two anterior bolts for the muffler. I'm gonna need to pull the muffler anyway, so I guess I might as well do that.
The intake side of the piston looks a little
Yeah.
worn.
Yeah.
What the air filter look like? Kind of is it?
I don't know. I thought it was okay.
Oh wow, it's got a new filter.
Oh, so somebody's been into it.
Wow.
Muffler comes off. Now these two screws for the muffler bracket, I'm just going to put them back into the crankcase here. We don't lose them. There's no gasket.
Yeah, it's
Not too bad.
not bad. It's definitely worn. What's a meteor though? They make that. So
Yeah, make meteors.
$7.
Probably wouldn't be a bad thing to just toss in there, right? It's amazing how like I get rid of all the oil and there's still oil. Where'd the other? Do you pull these screws out?
What was that?
Do you pull these screws
I
out?
put them in the
Well, one of them's here. Okay, because if we lose those, again, proprietary screws.
proprietary. How those little fat heads.
Yeah. So 8mm bolts for the muffler, 4mm for the case bolts. This. We're going to need a dog, inner dog.
Looks like it put a new kill switch on it at some point too.
Yep. That may be aftermarket as well.
Yeah, it looks like it.
Could be. Either way, it's new, so if it works, it works.
Right. Sometimes aftermarket's the only option with some of the older parts, right?
Right. so gummed. There we go. Carboned up, but not too bad. Yep.
Mo. Is that how you say it, Mo?
Wow. Yep.
Wow, look at how deep those transfers are.
Gotta get rid of that bump.
Yeah, yeah. You should port this. Go back in your notes for the 216, the last one you did. It's been a while. That intake is already pretty wide though. The intake in it is also bigger. Because look at that where the piston skirt is. It's already widened out to like the max.
Could square it off a little bit.
Yeah, right, square it off.
Yeah, I think this piston was just on the edge, and I wonder if that intake, if the block, the crack in the block started to say it's time to go.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Are we splitting it?
Yeah.
Of course. Right? Good. Okay. We're in agreement.
Whoa, look at this. Check this out. That was like that.
What the heck?
And put it on the wrong side.
Ah, yeah, okay, cool. Show, yeah. Look at that.
They put the block gasket on the wrong way.
Gasket's the wrong way.
Because the hole is right there.
Hang
It's supposed to be there. And they put it upside down.
Let me get.
I don't know if you guys can see that.
Yeah, here. Let me pull this. This is good, guys. Hang on. Just hold that there, and I'll see if I can. Yeah, look at that. That's perfect. So here's the impulse hole. The gasket's upside down.
That definitely didn't move.
Nice.
That's probably what made that piston look like that. It wasn't getting fuel very well, was it?
That's awesome. I don't think I've seen that one yet. That's great.
I don't think I've ever seen that yet either.
Classic.
Upside down. Somebody's definitely been inside this saw.
100% bonehead move. All right, cool. Luke, I hope that wasn't you, buddy. That's oh my.
Oh, it's got a base gasket. It's stuck pretty good.
There. Big deal there. So yeah, new gasket kit, obviously.
How does the bearing look too?
Bearings, seals, gaskets, and bearing seals, gasket, fuel line, filter.
Crank feels alright. Didn't get hot.
Might need a new clutch because of that kind of did get cooked.
I think I heard somewhere somebody said they put a 357 clutch on it with 262, but
Yep.
I'm not sure what they did.
Yep.
I don't think it's a straight bolt on, no.
Let's get that piston off, and we'll move towards splitting it.
But want to save those for a medium, huh? That piston doesn't look aftermarket though, it's definitely original.
Oh, well, we'll see. just pushing the pin out. I've seen some of these pins really be in there. Like it's impressive sometimes. Pin bearing will go in the
What's impressive?
The how the wrist pins are really jammed in there.
Really tight tolerance. I think I see a name here.
Yeah, it's the original model. It's an original piston.
Check that out. There's like the indent. It's definitely starting to
Right, something was up.
see. Might have been related to that intake situation there.
Usually you can just take the starter or on-off switch and pop it. And just pop out. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the screw here that holds it down and put it back here. That way, again, those things tend to get lost. Now what? So these seal holders need to be removed. And this one's nice because it's the metal one. Oh, by the way, there's a this one's metal, and there's the rubber O-ring that goes in there too that needs to get replaced. So let's ignore that for the moment and work on getting these bolts out.
At least the 262 is nice though that the O-ring doesn't go on the oil pump like the 288.
True.
That's
there's no need for an oil for one of those here. So this one is one. Two. Any other comments? Hey, Nikki. Spending is his passion. Yeah. You spent some money on doing. Yeah, I know. The list I is growing for sure. This is 262 decomp. No, there's actually no decomp on this. Someone just remember someone did do the same on a 394. Yeah. Yeah, Nikki, we're gonna have a good time with this. Yeah, the list of items that it's the thing. Like people think that they're gonna put these things back. Take them apart, put them back together. You guys really think that you're not gonna spend a bill on these? You're wrong. Now, the 262 happens to be worth it. I think these are worth mucking around with and repairing and whatnot.
Especially if you get it for late, no?
Especially if you get it for cheap. But that's the thing. You gotta get these things for cheap. You really have to get these things for cheap. You cannot be overspending on these.
Yeah.
You just get into trouble in a hurry.
You get more than one for cheap. It makes it even easier, right?
Yep. But if you're at all thinking like, geez, I'm going to make money or something like that, you're wrong. Because at the end of the day, if you got this for $50, which is unlikely, but if you happen to have gotten this for $50, that's great. But this is going to be a bill. At the end of the day, it's a bit. Oh yeah, it just needs an anterior AV mount. So this thing right here, lucky that it didn't spin. It's an ultra short screw. This stupid thing here always falls apart. See? Dig it out.
Wow. Yeah, that always falls apart.
Always falls apart.
Well, it's in the worst possible spot for rubber to live.
And there's a crack on this.
Oh, there's a crack. Might be able to take your soldering.
Yeah, it doesn't. That doesn't look like it'll be relevant, but still.
It's not there. That's what would matter.
Yeah,
Right?
not gonna matter. That's good. So this AV mount.
Is that no longer available?
They might be available. But I think it's stupid thing is like $20. Yeah, they want for that rubber piece is like 15 or $20. It's really dumb. AV rubber.
Start get saw down and working.
I think it's worth it.
Look at
but
that. Is that factory?
Was that rubbing on something? Did it clearance itself? I would say clearance itself.
It almost looks factory though.
Where the devil did my flat blades go? Somehow I'm missing flat blades. I don't know why.
It's always a mystery with the old saws.
Alright, so we gotta get this out. That's loose. That's not. Okay, so that tightens up. That's good. The tank is probably fine, except for a minor crack here in the front, which probably doesn't mean anything.
Yeah, that's.
Looks like it's short. The fuel tank vent. The inner one looks like it's intact, but the outer tank vent looks like it could be replaced.
All these little knickknacks add up.
It adds up real fast. That's like $8. Here. So now I'll take this seal. This is the seal holder. I don't know why they did this as opposed to building this piece actually into the crankcase.
Yeah, that's silly.
Why there's a seal holder, I don't know. Again, 3 flathead or flat blade, like what is it, pan head?
Those proprietary.
I'm sure. You're not going to want to try to replace them. You might be able to replace it down at the depot, and you might not. So here's the seal holder.
Wow.
So there's your rubber O-ring and the original plastic seal. You think that's hard? Feel that.
What?
Hard.
It's plastic.
Plastic. Don't look at me, man. It's like these are almost like 200 T seals.
What the heck? I'd never seen a seal like that. I didn't know they had a seal like that. What is that?
They're a lot like 200 T seals. It's a single lip seal. It's dumb. Ignore it.
I'm just like
It's a bad idea.
because I'm like I've
Just
never
ignore
seen
it.
anything like that before. It's pretty neat though. Well,
Okay.
it's neat, but it's not neat.
So now we've got the splitter here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 screws out. We're good to go. Now, if you want to double check and make sure you're good on that sort of thing, then you can always look at a new case gasket, which you really ideally should have. You have a passion. No, it's funny. The next payday. Hey, Pat. 262. Yeah, great stuff. The fact you're not making any money for pleasure. Yeah, well, it's rare. This one I think will be a paid job, but it's at the end of the day, how much money am I actually making? Like, not much at all. The real way to make money on this is not with rebuilding saws. The way to make money here is to sell all this stuff for parts. Like, then you're actually going to make
Part
money.
it out.
Yeah, you part it out. So there we go. Sometimes you actually have to wiggle it a little bit. Sometimes it gets stiff, and other times it wants to kind of pop. So that's okay. Just give it a bam. Done. Tension's building up or something. Yeah, these bearings have seen better days, so no harm in doing this.
What are they feel? Oh wow, yeah.
Crunchy?
You can feel
it. Okay. You gotta pop that seal out.
Is that
pop the bearing out?
Proprietary in that saw?
The bearing?
No, the seal.
No, I think that these are fairly common seals. Might actually be similar to 372. Flywheel side 372. It's a pretty common seal for Husky, if I remember right. I gotta do this side. So I'll put that away for the moment.
Well, at least the bearings are the pockets were good.
Yep. So the benefit to doing it this way is that you're not gonna bugger anything. You can do this without the puller, but what happens is if you use heat and you tap this out, then the bearing typically stays on the crank, which then means then you need a bearing puller to pull it off the crank. I've tried to get those off with it, it doesn't work. So this is a far easier way to do it, and then you don't actually need a bearing puller. Although it's useful to have both items. Again, there we go. When you feel tension like that, sometimes it's better just to give it a wrap. But it let go. Splitter away.
Took you 30 minutes to get the crank in your hand. That's pretty good.
Really? That's it? Nothing's buggered. So you can look at the cage. No splits or cracks. No. Yeah, something was wrong.
Might have hit the crank throughout at some point. But I don't. It might be just the way it was from the factory. I don't know.
Again, that'll go in the ultrasonic, get cleaned. Okay, bearings. Gotta pop these things out. So let's do the seal on this half first. and then we'll do both. And we'll do the bearings cold rather than hot. I wonder if I can just sometimes you can just do this with a big screwdriver. Do not. Got some extra 262. Okay. That ain't working. Put this one in there.
That seal is definitely
Yep, it moved.
seen better days.
Just gotta get it to move. And then you don't want to miss and damage the magnesium. Put a line in the crankcase. It's not the best. That's perfect.
Wow.
Beautiful.
That is a pretty interesting looking yard. That's literally plastic.
It's plastic, yeah, with a single lip on it.
Oh wow, look, the rubber broke when you took it off. So it just crumbled.
Oh yeah, it's completely hard.
It's amazing. That piston didn't completely score. To be honest with you. That thing probably had multiple air leaks.
Then you put the case back together. Now we're going to pull the bearings into the case. Pull. Bearing puller. That's not the right one. That's the right one. I do like my fender washers. Nuts and bolts here. It's not really crazy. Here's my so nuts, bolt, you just pull it on together. I used a piece of threaded rod. You can use a bolt, whatever.
Wow.
Bearing just falls in.
Seems like a pretty safe method too. It's self-contained.
Yeah.
Pretty idiot-proof.
Well, the other thing is you're not using a heat gun, and the benefit to that is that you're not going to hurt yourself.
Yeah.
Now,
Or if you're doing it inside and you don't want to
set anything on fire. Yeah.
Or if you're doing it right next to an argon gas bottle.
Right.
It's probably not a good idea to use a torch. I don't know how bad that would be to put that near this.
Well, it turns out argon's inert, so you're not going to set anything on fire, but still.
Better safe than
Better
sorry.
safe than sorry. Yeah, I know. So we go from the other side and use the case itself. Hold on with washers and one nut on that side. Now, in this case, you can pull on the inner race, not a big deal. Okay, now the bearings are out. Now we can get those cleaned up. Once we have the case halves cleaned up, Get everything cleaned up. Then we can put this back together.
That thing's hanging up.
This one's not too bad. But still, new bearings.
There's a lot of carbon in them.
It's gonna take some time to clean that up. These rubber pieces are usually okay. Vent's okay.
Yeah, metal cages.
Yep, nice bearings. That's it. I think we'll call it for the day. Now I got to do some behind the scenes work and clean it up. And when it gets ready, I'll get back to everybody. Questions, comments, anything else, guys? Hey, Stanley. I'm gonna call it a day, guys. Mason and I are gonna go hang out for a minute, and that's gonna be that for the day. So thanks everybody for watching. I do appreciate it. Don't forget to subscribe. Matt'sChainsawParts.com. Anybody wants to go there and buy some 288 high tops, that'd be awesome. I haven't had anybody message me through the site in a while. I'm beginning to wonder if it's actually working. So if you guys want to test that out, that is appreciated. What else? That's pretty much it from around here. I know I haven't been on lately, but I've been busy. So I'll keep working, and if I find anything interesting, I'll let you guys know. Okay. See you guys. Have a good one.